$1 billion to the Department of Defense? Well, that's a good idea, says the normie middle-of-the-road voter. I want to be defended. I need to be defended. But $1 billion to the Department of War, the normie middle-of-the-road voter says, whoa, 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 wait a minute. I don't like war. I thought we were supposed to be having less war. I thought Donald Trump was the peace president. So, as the title suggested, I do think it's a good idea to rename the Department of Defense into the Department of War.
Restoring victory and clarity as an end state. Restoring intentionality to the use of force. So, at your direction, Mr. President, the War Department is going to fight decisively, not endless conflicts. It's going to fight to win, not to lose. We're going to go on offense, not just on defense.
Offense. You ready to go to war, boys? It's going to be good. Let's do some offense, as if we haven't been doing offense for the past 100 fucking years.
Maximum lethality.
Maximum lethality. This guy is a fucking chud. He really is. He thinks that being in the military is just badass. And that's what we need, is more badasses. We don't need diplomacy. That's for pussies. Okay? Talking things out, describing and coming to an agreement, that's for wieners. What we need, maximum lethality.
Not tepid legality.
Not tepid legality. No. We don't want to settle our problems in some sort of international court. Ugh, yuck, that's for nerds. Pete Kegsbreath is not a nerd, goddamn you. He's not a nerd, and he's telling you he will not be a nerd, but he's the peace president. Yeah, exactly. We'll get to that in a minute. Diplomacy is nerd shit. He doesn't do nerd shit. He does action, violence, not legality. He doesn't care about your legal terms. Yuck. Gross. Tepid legality? No. We're not going to do legality around here. We're doing violence, shock, awe, lethality.
Hello human, it is me, the algorithm. Press the subscribe button to make me happy.
Violent effect, not politically correct.
Violent effect, not politically correct. Boss, there's an important word in politically correct. It's correct. We're going to do wrong things violently, and you won't be able to stop us, because if you try to use the law or political correctness to stop him from hurting people, he will hurt you.
We're going to raise up warriors, not just defenders. So this War Department, Mr. President, just like America, is back.
When the American people see this, and see some of them saw this, but not many, when they see what it becomes, far more violent, far more aggressive, far more dangerous, far more Americans dying, far more foreign people dying, they will reject it. That is why I'm okay with the idea of changing the name of the department from the Department of Defense to Department of War. It's more accurate, first of all. That's exactly what it always has been. Changing the name to Defense. While in the 1800s when they did it, they did restructure the Army and the Navy and all that fun stuff to put them under one command. Made sense. But they also changed the name. Why? Because people don't like war. They never have. Only idiot chuds like him like war. Only the people who haven't actually been to it like war. Idiots like war when they're sitting at home playing video games. Anybody who's actually been there doesn't like it. And most of the public doesn't like it. That's why I think this is fine. This will turn the people against the department. When it's a Department of Defense, they're all on board for it. $1 billion to the Department of Defense? Well, that's a good idea, says the normie middle-of-the-road voter. I want to be defended. I need to be defended. But $1 billion to the Department of War, the normie middle-of-the-road voter says, whoa, wait a minute. I don't like war. I thought we were supposed to be having less war. I thought Donald Trump was the peace president. He's been bragging about getting a Nobel Peace Prize. He's been fighting to get one, but he makes more war every chance he gets. So once again, an army can openly understood as employed by and for the elite rather than the people. Yeah, and there is that. They definitely aren't doing things for your benefit. No. They're doing things for the benefit of the people in charge, for the money, the military-industrial complex. Yeah, they didn't go for the Department of Peace, show something resembling restraint. No, I think the Department of Peace, renaming it from defense to peace, they would get called names. They would be called insults.
Turn the friggin' frogs gay!
You just turned a friggin' frog gay, Nizuki. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Proud of you. Nixie, you just turned a frog gay. Proud of you. Department of Peace, if they had named it Department of Peace, they'd have been called woke, wimps, pussies, weaklings, wieners. They'd have been called names by the Chuds. Okay, the Chuds need that confidence. Donald Trump is a confidence man. That's the longer term for con man. He is a con man. He gives you confidence and then steals from you. That's what he's doing here. He needs the Chuds, the idiots, the Republicans, to feel strong and powerful and important, and gives them confidence. But the other part of the confidence is asking for the Peace Prize. I know that he's been struggling to get it, and all of his sycophants have been calling for him to have it. And that's part of the con as well. He changes the name to war, but then if he gets the Peace Prize, his morons, his MAGA faithful, can tell me with a straight face that he's the peace president. You see, he got the Peace Prize. They can willingly lie. That gives them confidence to lie. It gives them confidence to say the thing that isn't true. It gives them confidence to say Donald Trump is the peace president. He just bombed Iran, and he bombed a boat, and he bombed a bunch of people, and he killed a bunch of North Koreans, and it doesn't matter, and he's attacking Venezuela, and he's trying to forcefully steal things from Canada, and he's trying to take over Greenland. But he's the peace president, you see, because he got the Peace Prize. This is confidence that he's giving them. And that's what con men do. They tell you one thing, and then they do the opposite. That's everything he's ever done. That is everything that describes Donald Trump. He says one thing, and then he does the opposite. But the people who like him love what he's saying. And that's the problem. They like what he's saying. The change of the name and the actions that Pete Hegseth will take won't be liked by the people. The biggest protests this country has ever seen tend to be about war. The Vietnam protests were about war. End the Vietnam War. People hated it. It was killing Americans for no damn reason. The reason we were there was nonsense. It was horseshit. And they didn't even call it a war. They called it a police action because the people don't like war. Obama even knew this. He didn't do the Iraq war. He did overseas contingency operations, you see? There's a difference. There's not. It's public relations. That's all it is. When Nixon called the Vietnam War a policing action, he was lying. When Donald Trump tells us that the Department of Defense becomes the Department of War, he's accidentally telling you the truth. Unintentionally, he's telling you the truth. He usually doesn't do that, but this truth makes his base feel good, so he'll do it. It makes them feel good, but it makes the normal voters, the people in the middle, not feel good. It makes them feel nervous. It makes them feel danger. You know, the civil rights movements were about violence, and the people subjected to that violence. Then the people doing the civil rights protests were subjected to more violence, and that got on TV. This made the people in the middle go to their side, to the side of the civil rights protesters. The BLM movement, whatever you want to say about it today, and the right wing says a lot of horseshit about it, was sparked by violence. The public doesn't like violence. They never have. The right wing who pisses and moans, bitches and complains about the BLM movement. What are they complaining about? They're complaining about the violence that the protesters do. When Donald Trump sends troops into D.C. and when he promises to send them into Chicago. What are they there to do, according to him? He's a liar, but what are they there according to do, according to him? Stop the violence. People don't like violence. And Pete Hegseth is a violent motherfucker. He always has been. He always will be, because he's never actually been to war. I know he was a soldier and he did some National Guard stuff, but he's never been in the shit. And it shows. If he had, he wouldn't be all for it, unless he's a goddamn psychopath, in which case he shouldn't be in charge of the Department of War. He's pretty blatantly trying to bait literally anything. He wants a riot or a war of economic collapse and something he can get emergency powers. Yes, for sure. I believe you. He definitely does want those excuses. He wants those things. Pete Hegseth is one of the few people I know is violent just by his face. You can kind of look at him. And I think we got another video of him, don't we? We've got another video here of him being a violent jackass. Here we go. Here we go. Look at him. That's a psychopathic, violent piece of shit right there, isn't it? Let's hear what he has to say.
Trey, what legal authority did the Pentagon invoke to strike that boat full of drug smugglers?
So a boat left South America and was coming north, and it probably did have drugs on it. This is a very common thing that happens. But what we usually do is send the Coast Guard or some sort of military asset on a boat, and the Navy and stuff like that, out there to sit in front of them, catch them, arrest them, take the drugs away. But Pete Hegseth doesn't have time for that nerd shit. That's soft. That's the tepid legality that he was talking about. Sending someone to interdict the drug smugglers is weak. He needs a goddamn Tomahawk missile to blow them up.
We have the absolute and complete authority to conduct that. First of all, just the defense of the American people alone.
That's not a law. He didn't cite a law here. She asked what legal recourse.
Trey, what legal authority did the Pentagon invoke to
What legal authority did they invoke? They didn't.
strike that boat full of drug smugglers?
We have the absolute and complete authority to conduct.
Doesn't that make you fucking nervous? That the guy in charge of the entire military says he has the authority anytime he fucking feels like it. Anytime he feels like it, he can invoke the military, because it's not about laws. It's not about rules. It's not about legality anymore. There are no laws in America. It's gone. It's done. It's over with. There is only one law. Make Donnie happy. And Donnie loves the idea of a drug boat getting blown up. That's good for his numbers. His base loves that idea. I remember when the Iraq War started, all the conservatives I ever fucking met told me we should glass Iran, glass Iraq, wreck the whole place, turn the desert into a fucking flat sheet of glass. Because they want all those people to die. They want all those people to hurt. They want all those people to suffer. Because that's conservatism, baby. Conservatism is about other people suffering. We have an absolute and complete authority to kill people based on convenience. Absolutely. That's what he's telling you. That is what he wants you to know. That he can use the military in any way he wants, and all he has to do afterward is say, defense. That's all he has to do. That's the only law. There's no rules. There's no laws anymore. There's no justification through the Constitution. That's all fucking over. He does what he wants. You can't stop him. You don't even know it happened until somebody reports on it. And then they tell you that it was for your defense, whether you like it or not. And this isn't a new thing. There is another thing that just popped up in the news the other day.
Hello again, human. It is me, the algorithm. Press the thumbs up button to experience human feelings.
How SEAL Team 6 mission into North Korea fell apart. So this was in 2019. This is very old, but it just got brought to light, and it's exactly the same thing. Donald Trump sent SEAL Team 6 to North Korea. They killed some civilians, they failed their mission, and then they came back. And you didn't know about it. Nobody knew about it. Congress didn't know about it. Nobody knew this happened until like today. Maybe yesterday when it popped off. They don't care about the law. All they have, all they are, all they want is their own power. Oh, I got to put on my storyteller voice because this is very cool. A group of Navy SEALs emerged from the ink-black ocean on a winter night in early 2019 and crept to a rocky shore in North Korea. They were on a top-secret mission so complex and consequential that everything had to go exactly right. The objective was to plant an electronic device that would let the United States intercept the communications of North Korea's reclusive leader, Kim Jong-un. Lightning. Editor Waldo, add some lightning. Amid high-level nuclear talks with President Trump, the mission had the potential to provide the United States with a stream of valuable intelligence, but it meant putting American commandos on North Korean soil, a move that, if detected, not only could sink negotiations but could also lead to a hostage crisis or an escalating conflict with a nuclear-armed foe. It was so risky that it required the president's direct approval. For the operation, the military chose SEAL Team 6, Red Squadron, the same one that killed Osama bin Laden. The SEALs rehearsed for months, aware that every move needed to be perfect. But when they reached what they thought was a deserted shore that night, wearing black wetsuits and night vision goggles, the mission swiftly unraveled. North Korean boat appeared out of the dark. Flashlights from the bow swept over the water. Fearing that they had been spotted, the SEALs opened fire. Within seconds, everyone on the North Korean boat was dead. The SEALs retreated into the sea without planting the listening device. Very exciting. I know this is very fun. It's a start of a fucking Call of Duty game. But the 2019 operation has never been publicly acknowledged or even hinted at by the United States or North Korea. The details remain classified and are being reported here for the first time. The Trump administration did not notify key members of Congress. That's a thing that you're supposed to do, who oversee intelligence operations before or after the mission. The lack of notification here may have violated the law. And this is the point that I keep making. This is the reason I railed so hard against Donald Trump. He doesn't care what the law is. He doesn't even check the damn law before he makes a decision. He does what's good for him, and then he justifies it later. This is, May is doing some heavy lifting. Yes, it is. It is most likely illegal, but he doesn't care. It's only illegal if somebody presses charges and he's been found guilty of breaking the law. So, has that always been how it is internationally? No, because there's Congress involved. If Congress is involved, it suggests that we made this decision together. The president who was elected got with his intelligence officials. They came up with a plan. The Congress was involved with it, and that way there's some oversight. There's some understanding. We know what's going on. We know what's happening. We can share that intelligence, and if anything goes wrong, we can figure out what went wrong. We could do some diplomacy. England brought natural gas from Russia, and we let them punishing other countries. We let them punish others. Yeah, and then that's if the president did that on his own, that would make me unhappy. If Congress approved that and made those decisions together, if Congress and the president make these decisions together with the backing of the intelligence community based on fact, that makes me happier. That makes a democracy. When the president gets to do whatever the fuck he wants, in any way he wants, that's not a democracy anymore. Did we vote for him? Yeah, this time we did. He might be running some more. He might run a third term, breaking the law. Again, it won't matter. He doesn't care what the law says. And that's what Pete Hegseth is doing too. This is authoritarianism. It's not democracy anymore. It's authoritarianism. He has the authority. Pete Hegseth told you he has all the authority he needs, and the authority is him. He has the authority. Doesn't matter what the rules are. Doesn't matter what the law is.
We have the absolute and complete authority to...
We have the absolute and complete authority. He will break the Constitution. He will hurt your First Amendment, and he will tell you that he has complete and absolute authority to do so. He will hurt your Second Amendment, and he will tell you, he'll look into the camera and tell you that he has the complete and total authority to do so. He'll take away every bit of fucking due process that you have. He's doing that to the immigrants right now. No, not him. He's not in charge of DHS, but the DHS is doing that to the immigrants. They're taking away due process. They're taking away constitutional protections. They're taking away rights from people. And they will tell you that they have the authority to do so because they are authoritarians. This is what they do. This is how they operate. This is how authoritarians act.
Click on this video link to appease the many AI overlords.